Hello everybody and welcome back to Malts and Meeples for the next segment of the top 100 games of all time 2025 edition. We have a 90 through 81 here, and I have my stats with me today. Now they aren't perfect, I just realized. I think that might be because how game was listed on BGG and maybe slightly updated in the title, but let's not worry about that. I'll give you the stats where I can. We have at least, I would guess, at least 2 new ones, maybe 3 on the list. Like I said, some I won't be able to give you the stats for, but let's get going here with number 90. Ooh, wrong thing. Number 90. Number 90 is going to be Wandering Towers. Now, this is one that I played on Board Game Arena, and I played a number of times there, and I've really enjoyed this one. It's a pretty simple game. On your turn, you can use a spell and or play out, play out a couple of cards. The cards give you 2 different options of what you can do on them, and they're either move towers or move wizards. You can only move your wizards, you can move any tower, and your goal is to get your wizards into the main tower first, and you're just doing that by playing out those cards, tell you how far it can move, or it might be random. And then you cover up your opponent's wizards with the towers. This whole idea of Wandering Towers, these towers can stack, and the shtick of the game is, where are your wizards in that tower? Can you get that figured out? And I really like it. It's simple, fun, and it just works well. And I know for sure this one is new to the list. Then, coming in next at 89, and this one says it's new from the list, but I know that it isn't. It's one of my most played solo games. We're going to have Grove, the 9-card solitaire game. This is a game, like it says, 9 cards, and you are overlapping them to match the different fruit, oranges, lemons, and limes, to grow as many of them as you can. Every time you overlap correctly, you gain a pip up on the dice. Now, that's not just a straight pip up. They do increase faster than that. I find it a lot of fun. This is a great one of my favorite games for just sitting down and playing solo, and playing it a few times. I mean, I would guess most times when I sit down and play it solo, I play it 8 to 10 times, because every game is so fast and so simple. Now, this also does kind of encompass Orchard as well. Orchard was the first in this kind of line of games, and I have Forage, but I haven't played Forage yet, so I have to learn that one to see where it would land and if it's similar enough that it should be kind of part of the same group. But between Orchard and Grove, while I like both, Grove offers some challenges as well. Basically, you pull out 2 of the 9 cards you aren't using, and those are going to give you extra scoring objectives, which will give you points, and then also tell you the point total you're going for in order to try and win the game. And I really like that. Works so well. Lots of fun. Like I said, it was on the list before. I'm not sure why my algorithm didn't find those matches. I'll see if I can get it fixed. But I will say, just a fun solo game. Now, this next one started as high as a number 36 on the list. It dropped to 50 and then 88. I still like it a lot. I think that if I were to play it again, it would go back up. It's just one I haven't played in a while, and that's going to be Via Magica. Via Magica is a bingo style game. Sounds weird to say, but you have your different spells and ingredients for those spells, and you're drawing out chips that tell you what ingredient you need to take, and you place it on a spell. Everybody is doing that. A single chip is grabbed, say it was green, everybody grabs a green and places it if they can. The goal is to fill up your spells so that you can cast them. They're going to give you points and special powers, things like that. And the spells that you have cast, those are the ones that are going to then give you your points at the end of the game. So I think it's once somebody has cast 5 spells, maybe 6, the game ends and everybody adds up their points to see how well they did. The person with the most points wins. It's a simple game, but I like some of the powers and abilities that you can unlock. Now, of course, you unlock something, you are saying, I'm not going to have as many points. But that still works well and is a fun time. Just a simple game that works well and has a cute theme, cute artwork. So I like Via Magica, my number 88. At 87, we're going to have one that was off the list last year. Now it is back on the list. It was on the list in 2023, so 2023 at 71. Back on the list here at 87, and that one's going to be No Thanks. No Thanks is a fun, just twist of a game that I really enjoy. It's a simple one to play, but there's always fun moments of pushing your luck as to how and when you take cards. In No Thanks, you want to score the fewest points possible. So there's a deck of cards, you flip over a card, it has a number on it. You decide, do you want to take that or not? If you don't, say no thanks, you put a chip on it. And it continues around the circle until there's enough chips on there that somebody thinks, yeah, that's worth me taking. Or maybe it's a situation where somebody runs out of chips. They can't say no thanks to it anymore, and they end up taking it. But there's a couple of different twists to it, besides kind of setting that value of how many chips on a card is worth it to take. So like the high end numbers are in the 30s. When do you take a 32? How many chips have to be on there? Because each chip counts as -1 point. But they're also the thing that you bid with. So you take all those chips, or you say no thanks with, you take all those chips back into your hand, you might be spending them out. So it's this figuring out of the market, as well as then this idea of runs. So if you create a run, even 2 cards, say you have a 32, 31, you only score the 31. You only score the first card in the run. And so sometimes you might be like, well, I'll take that really high number because it's not adding to my points. And then there becomes the question of, oh, that really high number, I kind of, like, people know I want it, but nobody else is going to want it. How many times can I go around the circle getting chips added to it before I take it? Because that's going to even lower my score more so. But also, when potentially is somebody going to run out of chips or look at it and go, you know what, that's worth it, and take it. So there's just a lot of fun little elements to this game. Now, my 86, I have trouble believing it hasn't been on the list before, but maybe it hasn't. I definitely have played it before this year, and a number of times. So I kind of suspect it should have been on the list, but my 86 is going to be Strike. Now, you might think, Strike, that's barely a game. That is true, but it's always been a ton of fun when we've played it at the table. If you're not familiar with Strike, it is gladiator dice. That's not true. This is just a push your luck dice rolling game where you're rolling them into a bowl, into a, Colosseum is theoretically what it is, or who knows. That's what people like to say the theme is. You're rolling your dice in, and any dice you roll that match with another die, you take out all those matches. So if you roll in there and you have four, or you get 3 4s and 2 2s, you take those back out, even if you only rolled in a couple of dice. Your goal is to be the last one standing with dice. However, if you roll a 1 in the game, that side has an X, those dice get kicked out of the pool. If you miss with a die, so you're going for a big roll, maybe you're trying to knock some dice in there over to other sides, you go for a big roll, a few of the dice miss, those are out of the game as well. But let's say you roll, there's only 2 dice in there, you roll 2 dice, you don't get any matches. You can decide to push your luck and continue to roll until you get a match. But once you get a match, you have to stop, or you can just pass. So, you might like, why don't you just pass? Because if you can clear out that bowl, the next person has to roll all of their dice. And that's a good way to get somebody out. Or you might look at it and go, right now there are 4 dice in there. I'm down to 1 die. I'm down to 2 dice. That's going to be my best bet to get something. And there is a tiny bit of strategy. I mentioned how you can knock dice over to other sides. Well, if you're looking at it, there are 4 dice in there. None of them match. Knocking a couple of those so that they change the sides they're on actually does increase your odds of getting a match. So that is something you can go for. Though sometimes it definitely, it won't work sometimes. So Strike, just goofy, silly, fun game. Probably not for everybody. Definitely not for everybody, because there isn't that much strategy to it. As much as I said there just was. But one that has always worked well for me. At number 85, this one was 98 last year, 64 the year before that, we have Marvel United. Now, I have everything for Marvel United. In fact, I think the last one is supposed to be shipping soon. Just some of the characters that were released later, or like convention specific stuff maybe. I forget exactly what it was, but those are going to be coming as well. This is a pretty light, very light cooperative game, but one that I just have a lot of fun with, and one that I need to get everything of mine sorted so I can play it again easier. There's so much stuff, but if I can sort it, it gets to the table really fast, because all you do is you grab a character that you're going to play, and then everybody else grabs characters. If you're playing solo, you grab a couple characters, 3 characters, however many you want to play as a solo game, and then you grab locations, 6 locations, the villain dashboard, and a villain. That's basically it. You need the villain's deck of cards, you need your character's deck of cards, but it's so simple to get to the table, and it's just a lot of fun. And I really like the cooperative nature of this game. I think it would have been very possible for this game to kind of fall flat. And I realize, like, the box that I'm showing here, this one doesn't have the best villains in it, doesn't have the best heroes in it. It has really recognizable ones, but not the ones that are necessarily the most interesting to play up against, or like the X-Men box, the Multiverse box, those heroes offered a little bit more variety. But the game works so well, and I really like the cooperative nature of it, as I was going to talk about, where you play out a card, and then if I'm following like the next hero turn, I activate not only what my card has, but the main ability on your card as well. And that means we can plan turns. We can say, you can be like, well, I don't have anything really good I can do this turn. Would you be more interested in having some movement, a heroic action, punching? What's the thing that's most interesting to you or useful to you? And so we can coordinate and have some cool kind of superhero team up moments. And then the villains themselves are what's really so unique about this game, because each of them plays a little bit differently. And you can't just go in there and punch the villain. You have to complete a couple different objectives. You have to punch enough thugs, you have to do enough heroic actions, or you have to rescue enough bystanders. In fact, you can do all three, which will give you a little bit more of an advantage, but you can't do anything to the villain until you do two. And sometimes, even after that, like you might be dealing with the villain in a different way. So I really enjoy what this one has to offer, and it offers so much. And I'm excited. I plan on probably streaming this coming up, maybe having some of the Mondays or Wednesdays after the top 100 is done, being more just conversational, talking about some game. I have acrylic paint markers that I'm going to be using on the Marvel United miniatures, because you can see like the aesthetic from the cover is fairly chibi-esque. So going with just really solid, bright, popping colors, I think could look great for them. So dropping, now this time, Marvel United went up 13 spaces. My next one has dropped 29 spots. It's at 84 now, had been at 55 last year and 50 the year before. I still really love this game. It's somewhere behind me on the shelves back here, I think but homebrewers. This is a theme that I love, say as I drink a beer. And it's a pretty simple kind of engine building game. You have to do the certain things to brew beer. You need to sanitize your equipment. You need to get grains. You need to brew. I feel like there's one other step in there, but that might be it. Or you have to get rid of your spent grains, I think is the other thing. So you have to do all those different things that you actually have to do with homebrewing. But then kind of the fun part of the game, that part's fun as well, but kind of the part that everybody gravitates towards is you get ingredients for your beers. And for some of your actions, you're spending dice to get ingredients. You can sell the ingredients for kind of abilities and powers, or you can place the ingredients on the beers you're going to be brewing. So maybe I'm brewing an IPA and I add almond and, I don't know, star anise to it. Let's just say. Those are the two things that I add to it. Each of them is going to do a different thing. So every time I brew now my IPA, I activate those abilities. And it might be, it gives me $1. Or it might be porters, which are to the right of IPAs, let's just say. Those also go up on their track. You get better at brewing them by brewing your IPA. So you can create these combos and kind of engine build different ways to brew fun beers. And I think my favorite part too, one of my favorite parts, is at the end. You look and see what beers you have. And you're like, okay, well, would I drink my IPA with almond and star anise? I'd try it. Would I drink a porter with squid ink? That's a little bit more out there. Or clam juice. I think clam juice is one of them, or clam. That's a little bit weirder. I'd try it, but like my IPA, maybe I would buy a 4-pack or a 6-pack of. If it has clam juice in the porter, I'd take a taster, but I wouldn't hunt that down. So it's fun to just see the different beers that you can brew. Moving up now to number 83, we have one of our first, if not the first, really big campaign game. And this is one that I need to get back to. I need to get down to the table and play some more. There's just so much with this game. And I did stream it once. I had a blast with it. It was one where I realized I probably wasn't streaming it the best way I could. And that's going to be Chronicles of Drunagar, Age of Darkness, and the follow-up expansion. This is a big game, lots of minis, and has a couple cool elements that I want to highlight for it. Actually, let's go with three. Three cool elements I want to highlight for it. First is how the story unfolds. As the story is unfolding in this game, you are going into different rooms. You come to a doorway, and that doorway has a number on it. That doorway has some specific story, and that's also where you see how to set up that room. So as compared to other games, some that I like a lot, where maybe you set up the whole map ahead of time, this one says you can't do that because it's just in that room. Like, you don't get that information ahead of time. And that's fun and like a nice little added piece to it. That's where I think I went wrong streaming it. I think that I need to kind of go into it with the understanding of I'm going to go through until I kind of hit one of those rooms. I'll talk about that little bit of story, and then that's where the stream will end. The other thing that I really appreciated about the game was kind of this activation system. The activation system for your character was you have cubes of different colors, and your character has abilities of different colors. You spend cubes to activate those abilities, and when you spend a cube to do that, you cover up a spot. Then, once you want to, or once you're out of cubes, you have to pull them back. When you pull them back, you cover up a spot with a black cube that is no longer available to you. There are ways to get rid of those black cubes, but that's, again, spending time to do that. You're spending actions to do that. And I really like that system, how you have to plan out with your cubes how you really want to activate your character. And sometimes you might look and go, I don't have a good activation, but I need to get more cubes out there so that when I pull back, I'm not blocking off like the ability that I really want to use. And then the final thing I want to talk about with Chronicles of Drunagar is going to be the darkness. The darkness, I will say the rules for the darkness were confusing. But the darkness is basically an overlay that goes onto the board. Now, generally, whenever you do anything and you're in the darkness, it doesn't work as well, or it's more difficult. There are some things, though, that are better if you do them from the darkness. But there's a cost to being in the darkness. And the longer you take moving through the world, the more the darkness is filling up everything. And the more it fills up everything, the fewer safe spots you have to go. So it's a really nice mechanism for moving the game along to really just keep it going. Now, my number 82 here, and I'm pretty sure my number 82 is new to the list, is going to be Push. This is a little push your luck game that when I saw it played for the first time, I actually watched a playthrough of it on, I believe it was Board Game Geek's Game Night. And I thought, that looks like it could be okay. But I've really enjoyed Push a lot as a push your luck game. In the game, you are flipping over cards, creating three different piles. Those three different piles, there's a one particular rule, or I guess maybe two particular rules that you have to keep track of. First off, you can never have the same color in a pile. So if I flip two blues and I flip a third blue, that has to go into that third pile. The other thing is you can never have the same number in the pile. So if I flip two fives, the third five I flip has to go into that third pile. But what happens if I have a pile, like two piles with blue, one of those being a blue five, we have a third pile with a five in it, and I flip a blue five. Well, the middle column doesn't have a five. That one column, whatever one it is in your head, doesn't have a five in it, but I can't play it there because it has a blue. I also can't play it on the one with the five because that has a five, even though it doesn't have a blue. So there are some times where you're looking and go, I think I'm safe. I think I'm good to flip. And then you realize, oh, there's a number combination that causes me to bust. If I bust, I have to roll the Die of Doom. That's what I just called it right now. It probably has an official name in the game, but I like it as the Die of Doom. You roll that. It has 6 sides on it, 6-sided die. 5 of them are the different 5 colors of the cards. The 6th one is black. If you roll a black, you're safe. If you roll one of the colors, you have to get rid of all your cards of that color, and you lose out on those points. Now, you could also just spend your turn not pushing your luck. You could just say, I'm not flipping anything. I'm going to bank my points for a certain color, and they're now safe. But where's the fun in that? So, as you're flipping, there are also cards that have the die on them. It has the same rules for placement as the colors or numbers. You can't put a die card in a column with, or a stack of cards with a die card already in it. And whoever gets those stacks, they have to roll the die. Now, how do you get those stacks? Why wouldn't you just avoid them always? If I'm playing out these 3 different stacks, and I stop, I choose one stack, then the next person in turn order chooses a stack, then the following person after them, before the turn moves along. So everybody's potentially getting cards, but now I could just pass somebody who has all 5 colors, just a single die card, and now they have to roll and could completely torpedo the colors that they have, which is just fun. Having those moments of, oh no, everything went away because of a bad roll, that's kind of a big moment at a table. At the same time, rolling the black side of the die and everything being safe, when you have every single color, that feels so good, and everybody kind of reacts to that. So Push just works well as a push your luck game. So yes, it's on the nose, but it works. And then finally, number 81. This was 54 last year, 56 the year before. Probably dropped a little bit because I haven't played it yet this year. And now I want to. Which is really true for almost all these games. A couple of them, Push and No Thanks and Wandering Towers, those I've played this year. But my number 81, down 27 spots, is going to be Potion Explosion. This one I like to kind of liken to an app game. You know, those games where if like colors touch, they explode and they're out of the grid. And then new things drop in, and if that causes like colors to touch, they explode. Well, in Potion Explosion, that's kind of what's happening. You pull out a marble from one of several columns, and marbles will slide down to fill in. You just remove a single one, but if matching colors hit, you take out that whole group of those colors. Then, if that cascades into more matching colors hitting, you remove those as well. Then, once you have all your ingredients, this is another kind of like Via Magica, where you have ingredients for things. Once you have all your ingredients, you assign them to your potions. You can have a couple potions going at one time. Then, when you fill a potion, that's going to clear. You get the potion's going to give you some points for the end of the game, but it also is going to give you an ability. It might be one that, say, it allows all your dice to be wild colors, or like all your blue dice can be wilds. It's a one-time use thing. You flip it when you want to use it, but that allows you to try and chain and combo in other things to complete your potions before other people can, and complete as many as you can before kind of the end game trigger, so that you can score as many points as possible and be the best student in Potion Explosion. Yeah, this one is just a lot of fun. Not the easiest to find, unfortunately, because I think if more people, well, maybe it is easier now. I think is it with Horrible Guild now, I think? Maybe it always has been, but I think it might be back in print with them. And so, if this sounds like something that's fun, good toy factor, that's kind of where I'd go to look. So, let's just quickly recap. Recapping down here at number 90, we have Wandering Towers. 89, we have Grove. 88, Via Magica. 87, No Thanks. 86, Strike. 85, Marvel United. 84, Homebrewers. 83, Chronicles of Adronagor, Age of Darkness. 82, Push. And 81, Potion Explosion. I just want to thank everybody so much for joining in with this and watching. Drop a comment. A couple different questions you can answer down in the comment section below. Which one of these games from this 10 is your favorite? Or is there one from this 10 that you really need to try? Drop those down in the comment section below. I love to hear what people's favorites are from this section. So, appreciate that. If you enjoy this content, please give the video a thumbs up. Subscribe to the channel and click that notification bell to know when new videos are coming out. I already have the links or the videos queued up for the next few in the top 100 games of all time. You can click the notification bell on those too. You will get notified about half an hour ahead of time before I go live with those. Though it's going to be 9 p.m. on Wednesdays. I also stream on Mondays, generally around 8 p.m. Currently, I've been playing through Legendary Kingdoms, kind of a solo RPG system. And then on Friday nights at 9 p.m., my wife and I were playing through Baldur's Gate 3. We are getting relatively close to the end game on that. So join us for that part of Act 3 that, according to statistics, a lot of people haven't done who have played the game, at least for a while. And in all fairness, I have a couple games going where I have kind of hit that point of the game. It's like, yeah, I kind of want to start over. So, that's kind of what's on the channel. Also can check out nerdologists.com, where I'm writing articles on board games, board game reviews. I'm trying to play 100 new games this year. I'm at 99. So, definitely going to be making that. Actually, I'm 99. I have 2 new to me games going right now on Board Game Arena. So, definitely will be making that this year. as well as then you can other articles. Like today I wrote an article review of To Be Hero X, an anime. And of course, last but not least, I have a podcast, 10 Minute Marvel. If you're interested in Marvel movies, TV shows, comics, stuff like that, you can check out the podcast. You can find it here on YouTube by searching for 10 Minute Marvel, or search for 10 Minute Marvel, 10 Minute Marvel, wherever you get your friendly neighborhood podcast from. And I'm actually going through some rankings there right now with my co-host and Ryan from Man vs. Meeple. So join us for our top 10 next week. But with that, thank you so much for watching. Appreciate it. I hope to see you again next week. And bottoms up.